Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja Rusanen, and I'm your host, story coach, and a mentor for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. Today, I have a pleasure to interview Marcy Nelson-Garrison, who is a product coach, Choice Magazine feature writer, a visual artist, and a founder of the Coaching Toys online store. She's been coaching since 1999 and helps others tap into their brilliance and create transformational products and programs. Marcy is the creator of the popular card deck masterclass. Let's find out more about her path. And I will also ask her the best tips on how a card deck-based tool can create engagement and help clients integrate your message for better results. So let's get started here. Welcome, Marcy. I'm so excited that you are here.
Sorry, I have a little allergy, so I might itch my nose once in a while. So good to be here, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
You are so
looking
welcome.
Forward to our conversation.
Me too, because this is a really wonderful topic. But before we start talking about the card decks, I'd love to hear, was there a special event that led you to this path?
Oh, my whole journey has been a series of evolutions, probably like everybody, right? Lots of twists and turns. But I have been working with people around creating products for a long time. But about 6 years ago, well, let me back up. It was a natural. I started coaching like everybody with the background in psychology and coaching. I was doing life coaching. I was doing all kinds of things like that. And it evolved into product mentoring because I was reviewing products for Choice Magazine. I ran the store. I was creating products, and people just started coming to me with questions about products. So that's how it originally evolved, but then it took a shift because I realized about 6 years ago that I actually didn't stand out. I was looking like everybody else in terms of helping people create products and programs, and it wasn't getting the results I wanted. So I had to take a pause and just really stop and look at what is it that's unique to me, that really reflects my gifts and expertise, and what kind of products do I love? So that's when the idea of the card deck masterclass surfaced. And it's like, I can't believe I hadn't thought of that before because it is the product I love the most. I review so many card decks for Choice Magazine. I just love everything about them. And it just lit me up. I think once I landed on that one program that's so unique to me, it lit me up. It excited me. It made it easy to market. And I was asking myself, do you think people will want this? It turned out they did. And it really had me stand out because nobody else was doing a program on card decks, but it really took listening, pausing and listening to what would really light me up. And I think at the heart of everything for me, Katja, is no matter what kind of product you're creating, it's really about the transformation. They are a vehicle for changing people's lives. And it's more than just creating a thing that you can sell. It's really, this is a unique way to shift someone's energy, open them to new thoughts, just create transformation. And I have a lot of stories about that. I could get off on a tangent here, so rein me in.
And I just want to reflect a little bit what you shared, because some of the things, and this is often the entrepreneurs who are listening, they might already know what's their thing, or they might be still seeking their specialty. And I love how you had that specialty in front of your nose, but then it took some time. And often that is time to like for us to find what really lights me up. So
Yes.
that was something you shared, and then providing like finding a way how you can create that impact, the transformation through your unique gifts. And often the life, like you had help, you had reviewed these card decks for your work, and now then it was like, that might be something I can do to help others as well. So that's something I often say, like entrepreneurs, like check what's been happening, how the life have trained you to do the work that you meant to do here. Because
Exactly.
everything we have experienced has led us here to this moment. So thank you for sharing a little bit of your path. And now for those who don't know yet, what is a card deck and why should we get excited about creating our own? Can you share a little bit? Because somebody might be like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
What's that? Of course, I don't understand anyone who doesn't know what a card deck is, but a lot of people don't. So first of all, card decks are a creative, amazing tool, and they're adaptable for just about any niche. And I would think most of our listeners have used card decks in some way. I mean, growing up, I played card games with my siblings. I used flashcards to learn the multiplication tables. So card decks aren't new. However, thinking about using one for your business might be. And it's really, there's just a wide range of possibility between a flashcard and a tarot card. Yeah. And it's like thinking of each card as a blank canvas. Anything is possible. And there are a lot of different types of card decks you can create. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But I want to tell you what I love about card decks. Card decks provide an experience. Just the process of shuffling and choosing a card, it's experiential. It's not, books aren't like that. It engages your clients differently. It's the antithesis of overwhelm. Your client can just get that just right bit of content at the right time. So it helps them really integrate and apply your wisdom. And that is a really cool thing. The other thing is they're a lot easier to create than a book, and they're just really fun, and they have lots of profit potential. So
I just want to jump in here just to highlight what you said, because I know many of the listeners, they have such a beautiful wisdom. They get downloads and they just have so much wisdom to share. And when you mentioned card deck can be a really cool way to share that wisdom. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
So pay attention here if you're listening.
Put that in there in the creative hopper here and see what happens. And there are also a lot of different kinds of card decks depending on what your people, how they work with people. So a card deck can guide, it can teach, it can inspire, it can prompt, it can explore, and it can motivate. And you want to choose the correct card deck type to do that. You kind of have to get a feel for your clients and where they are in their journey, where they get stuck or where they disconnect, because that's probably where you'd want to intervene with a card deck, and then just really thinking about what kind of card deck would be a good fit for that. And if it's okay with you, do you have anything to comment on that? Because I think I could share my screen, and I would love to give your people a creative process to kind of tune into their ideal client and then think about what kind of card deck they could create for them.
Yes, please do share. And just something like those different ways that you shared, that was like wonderful, because it's not only one thing you can do.
It's not just one thing. I know most people think, well, I'll just put my vacation photos together with some affirmations and call it done. But that's not going to make you stand out. And it's not exactly going to intervene in your client's life the way you could. So let's take a look. I've got a very fun creative exercise for you to tune into your ideal client first, and then we'll look at the different card deck types. So I think you're going to like this.
Oh, yes, please do share.
All right, so I'm gonna make it big
Yep,
here so you can see it.
perfect.
So you need to know something about your ideal client. So that's where we're going to start. So if you want it to be really attractive to them and powerful for them, we're going to tune in. And I use a lot of images in my work because I think that images they kind of bypass that part of your brain that is constantly critiquing everything and judging everything. So if we're only figuring it out from our head, you're going to miss a piece of what's important to your client. So I use pictures, and I'm going to walk you through some images with some questions you can ask related to it. So what I want you to do is look at these pictures and think about your ideal client and choose the animal that reflects the essence of your ideal client. And I'm going to give you maybe 10 seconds to choose your image. You don't want to take too long. You really want your right brain to choose for you and not overthink. I'll go by Katja. You let me know when you have your image, and I'll trust everyone else has to. All right.
I got
So
it.
as you look at this animal, what do you notice first? And just jot down a couple of thoughts. And then what are the qualities or the behaviors you associate with this animal? And just know when you're listening to this on a recording, you can pause this whenever you want in order to take a little bit more time. And then the next question is, what are 3 words you would use to describe this animal? And then what spirit or essence energy does this animal embody? And then as you look at these answers, it should kind of give you kind of a picture of the essence of your ideal client that you might not have had otherwise. And then we're going to go to a next step where we're going to ask the animal some questions. They're going to answer for your ideal client. So just know that metaphors speak volumes. So just really trust whatever answer comes and allow the answer to come from the animal. So you're going to ask the animal first. So insert your animal title. So if it's like Big Bird or Bluebird, where does my client get stuck? So you're going to be asking your client first is, how do you feel? You're going to ask them, what do you need? You're going to ask the animal, what blocks my client from getting what they need? And what support is needed to move through that block? And then ask the animal essence, is there anything else you want to say or that you want me to know about my client? And then you want to just take a moment to notice what stood out for you about the animal's answers. What did you learn about where your clients need help? And what would make their life easier? So now that you've connected to your ideal clients, let's explore the best type of card deck for them. As I mentioned, there are 6 types of card decks. So as I describe each type, I just want you to be thinking about which type might be the best one to enrich your client's journey. So number 1, do your clients flourish when they tap into intuition, spiritual guidance, or wisdom? Would they benefit from this type of daily practice to get unstuck or to process something? If so, you would create a deck that guides. Do your clients need education or training to succeed? Would small doses of information, how-tos, tips, or tools be perfect to support them to excel? So you could create a deck that teaches. Do your clients need frequent encouragement or championing or affirming and uplifting messages to succeed? If so, you would create a deck that inspires. Do your clients need a starting place for creativity or writing, something to spark new thinking or even initiate discussions? Then you would create a deck that prompts. Do your clients need a little kick-ass direction or gentle reminders to just do it? You would create a deck that motivates. And then the last one, do your clients need questions for discovery or a deeper dive into concepts or archetypes to discover something new about themselves? In that case, you could create a deck that explores. And there can be overlap. However, generally there is a type that's dominant, and it's just really getting clear of what's the best deck for you and your clients. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
That was so inspiring. I love the exercise you guided us through. I did it for myself here while I was listening to you prompting, and I highly encourage, if you did not do it, go back and do it, because it was so inspiring. And I love that definition, what kind of 6 different types, and like clarifying more what those can be, so we have a better picture. So that was super amazing. And
yay.
yeah, thank you. And one of the things though, because you have experienced this, you have created yours, and then you have helped others to create their card decks. And I often hear talks also about the struggles, to keep it real. Like sometimes there are things that when we are trying things to do these decks, what are a couple of common things that people struggle with when they are creating their card decks?
Well, three things come to mind. The first is just the simple how-tos. People get totally stalled. They have an idea, they don't know how to do it. So getting help with the how-tos, which is what I'm a genius at. So that getting over the hurdle, I think that stops people. Number 2 is, I'm building up to the biggie. Number 2 is not staying with the creative process quite long enough, because I think it's usually the second or third iteration of your idea that really, really delivers the gold. And so staying with the creative process and coming at it from a few different angles can make a big difference. But the last one, I think, is the whole process of tuning into what's your unique message and wisdom, and finding those nuggets, boiling it down into these tiny bite-sized pieces that your client can run with. It is often challenging because people come with really complex ideas. It's like, how do I boil it into this tiny little bite and multiple bites, but still simplify it enough that they get huge value with one card. And it's a combination of, trusting the guidance, but also really claiming your wisdom. I think when people try to put too much in, it's not quite trusting that if they deliver just one small nugget, it's enough. They're not there. So there's that piece, but also just owning your wisdom. I had a client who was very accomplished, and I know you've told me all of your clients are incredibly brilliant. And she was too, very accomplished, and did multiple kinds of training and helped people with leadership, and just a beautiful, beautiful person. But it was really an effort for her to not just find the bits of wisdom, but to claim them, to own them. Like, this is my voice.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to hide behind what someone else taught you and pull their voice, but your clients want you. They want your voice. They want your message. And I think that that's where people need encouragement to say, I am enough.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be original enough if I show up. So I think that's where people struggle the most.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those, because I feel those are very real struggles. Like, also, like, you need to create more than one card. So you need to have a card deck. So sometimes
Yes.
I'm a quick starter. I love jumping into things, but then having the support throughout the process and someone who encourages you, guides you step by step as you are creating this card deck, and having that courage. Because that's something I talk a lot, like having the courage to share your message, share your gifts in the world. And this is just another way how you can do it in a fun and inspiring way, to share the message, share your message. And this will help as well to find those words that you want to say, that it is yours. So I love that. And now I want to take you on the other side, because now they are like, okay, I get the struggle. I can maybe recognize some that might resonate with me. But then can you share a success story? What's possible when you overcome these struggles and get your card deck ready and out there? What's possible for your business when you have a card deck?
Well, I think there's some surprising ways that card decks can help you build your business and bring in money, because most people think initially sell your card deck. That is a wonderful way to use your card deck, but you can also use it, you can bundle it with some of your packages. And if you ever go to someone, you're looking to buy some coaching or something on a topic, and you're shopping around, and then you find someone that has a card deck, they have a book, they have courses. It's like, oh, they're the expert. So it just makes you look more it makes you look prolific, for one thing. And people like to buy from the prolific people. So it does the same as a book. It gives you a platform, you can speak, you can do all those things, and it gives you some street cred. But it's also a building block. So I take people through a class. There's a class I offer after the card deck class of how to expand on all those cards to create programs and other kinds of things. So once you get that core, it can just go boom.
You can expand.
So the other thing is the sales. I just heard a lovely story from one of my clients the other day, and she came from the background of healing, energy work, massage therapy, that kind of thing. And she created a deck. It's called High Vibe. It's all about shifting your energy and raising your vibration. And she told me she struggled in the beginning too. So it was just fun to see her nail her topic and actually create the deck. But today she is selling 6 decks a day on Amazon. 6 a day. I'm like, wow, that's awesome.
Oh,
so a lot is possible with the card deck. You mentioned to me that you use Denise Lynn's card deck.
That's right, I do.
So she created a coaching card deck too. And she built a whole international institute around that card deck.
Oh, that's how it started.
Exactly. She created that card deck on coaching, and then she started having people ask how to use it with their clients. And so she started teaching classes on how to use it with your clients. And that expanded eventually into an institute where she was training trainers. And That was from a card deck. I mean, she was a Hay House author with books,
Yeah.
but that huge thing didn't get built from her book. It got built from the card deck. Is that amazing?
That is. I didn't know about that part of her story, but
I know.
I felt really drawn. I'm using native spirit cards in my group. I'm doing normally Monday with I pull a card for inspiration for the group.
Right.
And I remember when I purchased that was the first entry-level thing into her world. I was called to purchase that card deck, and then I started to check what else she does. So that can be a really good entryway for people also to get familiar with your work.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So now if people are like, okay, I want to do a card deck, besides contacting you, which I highly, highly recommend if you want to have some expert support on your journey. What is the one thing that if somebody is there now, like, I want to create a card deck, what is one thing that they can do to get started?
Well, I have other than signing up for all my things, I think ask yourself the question, what do I know? And ask it over and over and over. What do I know? Start listing all those things. What are the things I say all the time to my clients?
Yeah.
And then think about where in your client's journey you would want to intervene. I'd start with those things. Those are 3 pretty powerful places to begin.
Thank you.
And if you're listening to this before my Facebook challenge starts, that would be a really fun thing to sign up for, because that's where we really help you find your idea with a lot of creative processes like you got to experience today. So it's a very fun thing to do.
Yeah, so check it out. I have those links in the comments, and you've given us so much to think about. And now, like, sure, there are people like with their creativity just
things to pop in. Yeah.
And you have put together a really special gift as well for my community.
I do.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
I have a gift called 10 Ways to Profit from creating a card deck. So I touched on a couple of them as we talked, but there are some other ways, and I give little examples of each. It's set up like an infographic, so it's a really fun sort of thing to look at. But that's just a download, and it will help you also get inspired of what's possible once you have your card deck. So
I will put the link in the comments, so check it out. And now, as we are wrapping up here, I just want to ask, do you have a special message that you would like to share as we are closing?
I was told something I heard years ago from a New York publicist and she was talking about book writing, but it's the same for anything you create. It only needs to be 10% original to be perceived as fresh and new. So there's 2 things I want to leave you with. One, that because everyone gets stopped thinking it won't be original enough, it's already been done, etc. Don't let that stop you, because everyone listening has their own. You've been on your own journey, your own inspirations, your own training and experiences, and all of that shapes how you view the world. And how you view the world is unique because of that. So someone could go hear someone speak on the same topic 10 times, but then they hear you present or they see your tool and they go, oh, now I get it. Because your voice is the one that opens the door for them. And there are people waiting for you to open that door.
Oh, thank you. That was such a beautiful message. Thank you so much, Marcy, for your time and all the work that you do in the world.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching the Path to Purpose interview show. If you like this interview, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel as well to be updated for the new interviews that are coming up. I'm sending you loads of light and love. Stay tuned.
Me too.
Yes, stay tuned and stay well. And we will be sending more amazing stuff on your way. So check those free gifts and we talk soon. Bye for now.